Imagine this. You are a man in your 60s, looking at yourself in the mirror one early morning. The reflection staring back at you tells the story of resilience, of decades of battles fought, victories achieved, and wisdom gathered. But behind those proud eyes, there is a silent question that you may not always voice out loud. Am I still the man I once was? Do I still have that spark, that fire, that drive? And if you have ever felt the heaviness of that thought, you are not alone. As a urologist who has walked beside thousands of men through the challenges of aging, I have witnessed the quiet fears that so many of you carry, but rarely share. The fear of losing vitality, the fear of becoming invisible in your own skin, the fear of waking up one day and realizing that passion, desire, and strength are slipping through your hands. And let me tell you this, those fears are real, they are valid, and they can weigh heavily on a man's heart. But they do not define your destiny. The truth is, after 60, your body begins to change in ways that can feel unfamiliar and frustrating. Testosterone levels dip, circulation slows, and energy feels like a currency you can't seem to hold on to. You may have noticed that your mornings aren't as powerful as they used to be. Your evenings lack the same fire, and intimacy sometimes feels more like a struggle than a celebration. And that gap, that distance between who you feel you are inside and what your body allows you to express, creates a storm of doubt, frustration, and even shame. But I want you to pause here because this video is not about surrender. It is about a truth that too few men are ever told, that your 60s can still hold some of the most passionate, vibrant, and powerful years of your life. And often, the difference between decline and resurgence lies in the simplest of choices you make each day. Choices that can reignite your blood flow, sharpen your mind, and restore your desire. Now, imagine for a moment that you could sit at your kitchen table tomorrow morning, take a bite of something ordinary yet powerful, and feel your body awaken in ways you thought were lost forever. Imagine that food was not just fuel, but medicine, whispering life back into your veins, encouraging your heart to pump with strength, your mind to focus with clarity, and your body to remember the primal language of intimacy and desire. That is not a fantasy. It is science. I have seen men who felt broken step back into their own power by simply nourishing themselves with the right natural allies. I have seen couples rediscover each other, marriages rekindled, and men who thought they were done with passion laugh in disbelief at the strength that returned to them. And the key was not hidden in a bottle of pills, nor in risky procedures, but in something so simple that it almost feels unfair. The right foods, chosen with wisdom, eaten with intention. And this is where I want to stop you in your tracks. Because chances are no one has ever looked you in the eye and said this: what you put on your plate can either suffocate your vitality or set it free. And in just a few minutes, I will reveal to you 3 extraordinary foods. Foods that science and experience have shown to be natural boosters of libido, circulation, and masculine power, especially for men over 60. But before we get there, let me ask you, what is it worth to you to feel alive again? To look at your partner and know that you still have that fire inside? To walk into each day not with hesitation, but with energy and strength coursing through your veins? Because this, my friend, is not about vanity. It is about reclaiming your birthright as a man. It is about refusing to accept the silent decline that society tells you is inevitable. It is about choosing right now to fight for the quality of your life, your relationships, and your legacy. And if you have ever felt the ache of losing what once came so easily, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you will not only know the names of these 3 superfoods, but you will also understand how they awaken your body from the inside out, how they protect you against the hidden enemies of age, and how they can help restore that spark that too many men believe is gone forever. This is the moment to listen closely, because the next few minutes could change not just the way you eat, but the way you live, love, and age. Now that I have your attention, let me make you a promise. In the next few minutes, I will reveal something that can transform not only the way you see yourself, but also how you live your days, how you feel in your body, and how you show up in your most intimate moments. This isn't about a miracle cure or a quick fix. Those are illusions that fade like smoke. This is about uncovering 3 powerful superfoods that, when embraced with consistency and wisdom, can reignite your masculine vitality in ways that may surprise even you. As a physician who has dedicated my life to men's health, I can tell you this with certainty. What I am about to share has the potential to change the trajectory of your aging. Too often, men are told that decline is inevitable, that fatigue, low desire, and diminishing strength are just the price of turning 60. But I am here to tell you that is only half the story. The other half, the story too few men ever hear, is that your body is not finished, your energy is not gone, and your passion is not lost. It is waiting to be reawakened, and food is one of the most direct pathways to that reawakening. Think about it. Every single day, you put something into your body. Each meal is either a weapon against your strength or a weapon for it. Most men don't realize that the difference between sluggish blood flow and vibrant circulation, between fading desire and a strong, healthy libido, between exhaustion and vitality, often comes down to what you choose to eat. And the beauty of it is that the power rests in your hands. In this video, I will walk you through 3 superfoods that have been proven to boost libido, enhance circulation, and support the natural production of hormones that men desperately need after 60. Each one of these foods is backed not only by science, but also by countless clinical experiences I have had with patients who embraced these changes and saw remarkable results. But let me be clear. I am not just going to hand you 3 names and walk away. That would be easy, but it would not be enough. Instead, I will explain why these foods work, how they interact with your body, and how you can begin incorporating them into your life in ways that actually matter. Because knowledge without action is like medicine left in the bottle. It doesn't heal, it doesn't restore, it doesn't transform. And here is my promise to you. If you stay with me until the end, I will reveal not only these 3 superfoods, but also one crucial secret about how they work together, a synergy that many overlook. This open loop is what I want you to hold on to as you listen, because it is not just about what you eat, but how you bring these elements into harmony. That revelation will come at the end of this video, and trust me, it will be worth the wait. Imagine for a moment sitting down at the table and choosing meals that do more than fill your stomach. They heal your arteries, they awaken your testosterone, they fuel your muscles, they sharpen your focus, and yes, they restore the very essence of your manhood. That is what we are talking about here. We are not talking about exotic supplements or expensive treatments. We are talking about natural allies, gifts of the earth, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to rediscover them. I want you to think of this as a roadmap. By the time this video ends, you will have a clear direction, a set of tools you can put into practice immediately. These foods will not only enhance your libido, but also improve your overall health, reducing your risk of heart disease, supporting your immune system, and helping you maintain the vigor that men deserve well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. But here's the catch. You must be willing to open your mind and take action. Too many men listen passively, nodding in agreement, but never shifting their habits. If you are serious about reclaiming your energy, your intimacy, and your confidence, then what I share today must become more than knowledge. It must become your daily practice. So, stay with me, because in just a moment, we will dive deeper. We will explore not only what these superfoods are, but also why they hold the power to defy decline, to challenge the narrative of aging, and to remind you that your best years can still lie ahead. And remember, there is a secret waiting for you at the end, one that ties everything together in a way you may have never imagined. Before we dive into the foods themselves, let me first connect with you as the physician speaking to you today. Because I know that trust is not given easily, especially when it comes to something as personal and vulnerable as male vitality after 60. You have probably heard many promises before, from advertisements, from supplements, from so-called miracle cures, and many of them left you disappointed, frustrated, maybe even feeling foolish for hoping. I understand that, and I want you to know that what I bring to you does not come from a place of marketing gimmicks, but from decades of medical practice, countless consultations, and real men who walked into my office carrying the same doubts and fears you may feel right now. I have sat across from men who avoided eye contact because they felt ashamed of what they were going through. Men who told me, in a whisper, that their marriages were crumbling because intimacy had faded. Men who felt betrayed by their bodies, wondering if age had stolen the very thing that made them feel alive and connected. And yet, I have also seen those very same men walk back into my office months later with a smile, their shoulders broader, their energy higher, and their confidence restored. The shift was not magic. It was guidance, science, and most importantly, the willingness to take action. I want you to know that when I speak of these superfoods, I do not speak from theory alone. I have watched them work in the lives of real people. One of my patients, let's call him Carlos, came to me at the age of 64. He was exhausted, unmotivated, and convinced that his days of intimacy were over. His blood work showed low testosterone and poor circulation, but instead of rushing him to medications, we started with his lifestyle. We adjusted what he ate, and 3 months later, the man who thought he was finished told me, with tears in his eyes, that he felt alive again, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Another gentleman, James, at 70, had resigned himself to a quiet decline. His wife worried about him because he no longer wanted to go out, no longer laughed as he once did, no longer reached for her hand in the evening. But with patience, with education, and with the introduction of these natural allies I will share with you today, he came back to life. He regained his appetite for connection, for laughter, for intimacy. His wife later wrote me a letter saying, "Thank you for giving me my husband back." These are not isolated cases. They are the stories of men who chose to refuse surrender. And they remind me why I am here, speaking to you now. Because you deserve to know that decline is not destiny. You deserve to understand that your body, even at 60 or 70, is still capable of strength, passion, and renewal. And let me also say this. I am not just a doctor behind a desk. I am a woman who has spent years listening, observing, and fighting for men's health in a society that too often tells them to be silent. I know the statistics. I know the science. I know the physiology of the male body in every detail, from the way your arteries respond to food, to how your hormones shift with time, to the emotional toll it takes when those changes begin to surface. But beyond the charts and the tests, I know the human side. I know the weight of silence, the sting of lost confidence, and the longing for something that feels like it has slipped away. So when I share what comes next, understand that it is not just information, it is an invitation to trust the process, to trust your body, and to trust yourself again. These superfoods are not exotic mysteries hidden on the other side of the world. They are simple, accessible, and powerful. They have been in front of you all along, waiting for you to see them differently, to use them with purpose, to let them nourish you in the way you deserve. And as your guide in this moment, I will not only show you what they are, but I will walk you through why they matter, how they affect your blood flow, your hormones, and your energy. Because you need more than names, you need understanding, and that is what I promise to deliver. Now let's take a deep breath together, because what we are about to uncover is not just about food, it is about reclaiming your place in life as a man. And I am here, not only as a physician, but as someone who believes in your ability to rise again. Let us talk honestly about what happens to a man's body after 60. This is the moment where many of my patients lean back in their chair, sigh, and say, "Doctor, I don't feel like myself anymore." And they are right, because biologically, physiologically, things are not the same as they were in their 30s or 40s. But here is the truth most men are never told. These changes do not have to strip you of your vitality. They are challenges, yes, but challenges that can be understood, managed, and even turned around with the right choices. The first and perhaps most profound change is hormonal. Testosterone, that vital hormone that fuels your energy, muscle mass, and sexual desire, declines gradually as you age. By the time most men reach their 60s, their levels may be 30 to 40% lower than in their prime. This drop doesn't just affect intimacy, it impacts mood, motivation, bone strength, and even your ability to think clearly. Many men confuse these changes with depression, or they believe they are simply getting old. But in reality, much of what they feel is the echo of hormonal decline reverberating through their body. The second challenge lies in circulation. Blood flow is the lifeline of vitality, carrying oxygen and nutrients to every organ, every muscle, every intimate function. But with age, arteries stiffen, cholesterol builds, and the once rapid river of circulation becomes a trickle in certain areas of the body. When blood does not flow freely, energy wanes and sexual performance falters. This is not about a lack of desire. It is about the body's inability to carry that desire into action. And yet, many men blame themselves, carrying unnecessary shame instead of recognizing the biological truth. Then there is the hidden weight of lifestyle. Decades of processed food, sugar, alcohol, smoking, or even just chronic stress accumulate like shadows over your body's natural strength. The damage doesn't happen overnight, but little by little, it chips away at energy, libido, and resilience. By 60, the effects are visible: a heavier waistline, slower recovery after activity, more fatigue in the afternoons, less fire in the bedroom. These are not isolated symptoms. They are connected threads woven into the fabric of your physiology. And if we leave these changes unchecked, the consequences deepen. Men who ignore them may face not only loss of intimacy but also serious health risks: heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, even cognitive decline. Vitality is not just about sexual performance. It is about the health of your entire being. When the body slows down, everything suffers: your mind, your spirit, your relationships. But here's the crucial point I want you to hold on to. While decline is common, it is not absolute. Your body is not a machine that breaks and cannot be repaired. It is living, breathing, adapting. And the foods you choose, the nutrients you embrace, can directly influence how your hormones behave, how your blood flows, and how much energy you can call upon each day. I have seen men who thought they were at the end of their vitality rediscover themselves simply by shifting what they eat. It may sound almost too simple, but science confirms it. Certain foods contain compounds that improve circulation, stimulate natural testosterone production, and reduce the inflammation that strangles your energy. When you feed your body correctly, it begins to respond. Not instantly, not like flipping a switch, but gradually, steadily, powerfully. I also need to address the silence around this problem. Too many men suffer alone, believing that speaking about low libido or lack of energy makes them weak. Society has created a dangerous lie that a real man should never complain, should never admit to struggle, should never ask for help. But let me tell you this: the strongest men I know are the ones who choose to fight for their health, who choose to learn, who choose to act. Silence is not strength. Knowledge is. Action is. So, as we step into the heart of this video, I want you to see the truth clearly. Your body after 60 is different, yes, but it is not broken. You may face hormonal shifts, slower circulation, accumulated lifestyle damage, but none of this is the end of your story. In fact, this can be the beginning of a powerful new chapter if you are willing to listen and take action. Because what we will uncover next are not just foods, they are keys. Keys that unlock circulation, that awaken hormones, that remind your body what it means to feel alive. And in just a few moments, I will place those keys in your hand. Now that you understand the challenges men face after 60, it is time to open the door to solutions. And I want you to lean in closely here, because these 3 superfoods are not just about nutrition. They are about reclaiming your power as a man. They are nature's gift, placed in front of us, often underestimated, often ignored, yet capable of transforming your energy, your confidence, and your intimacy. The first superfood I want to reveal to you is one you may already know, but perhaps not in the way I will explain it: pomegranate. This fruit, with its deep red seeds, is more than a sweet indulgence. It is a powerhouse for circulation and vitality. Pomegranate is loaded with antioxidants, compounds that protect your arteries from the slow buildup of plaque that chokes blood flow. For men over 60, circulation is the lifeblood of intimacy, and pomegranate juice or seeds can help keep that lifeblood flowing. Studies have shown that pomegranate increases nitric oxide levels, the very same compound your body needs to relax blood vessels and allow stronger, healthier blood flow to where it matters most. I have seen patients who simply added a small glass of natural pomegranate juice to their routine each morning, and within weeks reported stronger energy and renewed confidence in their intimate life. Imagine something so simple, yet so powerful, waiting in your kitchen to change how your body feels. The second superfood is one many men underestimate because of its humble appearance: spinach. Yes, the leafy green you might push aside on your plate carries one of the most potent secrets to male vitality. Spinach is rich in magnesium, a mineral crucial for testosterone production. And let's be clear, testosterone is not just about libido. It is about energy, focus, muscle strength, and even emotional resilience. As magnesium levels rise in the body, testosterone follows, and with it, the spark of desire and strength. Spinach also contains nitrates that, like pomegranate, boost nitric oxide levels, creating a double impact: stronger hormones and improved blood flow. When I recommend spinach to my patients, I remind them that it is not about eating salads like a chore. It is about fueling the very chemistry that keeps a man alive and vibrant. Cooked, blended into a smoothie, or eaten fresh, spinach is a quiet but powerful ally. And then, there is the third superfood, dark chocolate. But not just any chocolate. I am talking about real, high-quality dark chocolate, at least 70% cocoa. This food is often seen as a guilty pleasure, but in reality, it can be one of your greatest allies if consumed with intention. Dark chocolate is packed with flavonoids, compounds that reduce blood pressure, improve circulation, and protect the lining of your blood vessels. But beyond circulation, dark chocolate also stimulates the release of serotonin and dopamine, brain chemicals that influence desire, mood, and satisfaction. Imagine a food that not only nourishes your body, but also ignites your mind, lifting your spirit while supporting your masculinity. I have had couples tell me that introducing dark chocolate into their evenings became more than a health practice. It became a ritual of connection, a moment of shared pleasure that rekindled intimacy. Now let me pause for a moment because I want you to notice something. These superfoods are not exotic, expensive, or hidden in remote jungles. They are accessible, familiar, and part of your everyday world. And yet, when you use them with purpose, they can change everything. Think of pomegranate as your circulation warrior, spinach as your hormone booster, and dark chocolate as your pleasure enhancer. Together, they form a trio that strengthens blood flow, awakens testosterone, and uplifts your spirit, all essential to keeping your body and your relationships alive with energy. I know that some of you may be skeptical. Perhaps you are thinking, "Doctor, can something this simple really make a difference?" And my answer is yes, absolutely. I have seen men who were skeptical too, men who laughed at the idea of food making a difference. But when they tried, when they consistently brought these foods into their lives, they discovered that the small changes became powerful shifts. Energy returned, desire returned, confidence returned. And those men learned firsthand that the path to vitality is not always paved with pills or procedures. It is often found in the choices we make at the table. But I also need you to hear this clearly. It is not about one magical bite or a single meal. It is about consistency, about making these foods part of your rhythm, part of your daily routine. That is when transformation happens. A body is rebuilt not in a day, but in days stacked upon days of good choices. And you have the power to make those choices. So as you listen, remember this. You are not powerless against the changes of age. You are not condemned to silence or decline. You are a man, still alive, still capable, still burning with potential. And these three superfoods, pomegranate, spinach, and dark chocolate, are here to remind your body of what it can still do, of what it can still feel. Now we arrive at the moment I promised you from the very beginning, the revelation that ties everything together. You already know the three superfoods, pomegranate, spinach, and dark chocolate. But here is the secret that most men miss. It is not just about eating them individually, it is about how they work together, how they create a synergy inside your body that amplifies their effects and awakens your vitality in ways no single food could achieve alone. Think about this. Pomegranate floods your arteries with antioxidants, keeping your blood vessels supple and boosting nitric oxide for stronger circulation. Spinach then steps in, delivering the magnesium that awakens testosterone, while its nitrates enhance the very same nitric oxide pathways that pomegranate began to open. And then dark chocolate completes the circle, supporting vascular health while elevating your mood and releasing those chemicals of pleasure that ignite intimacy. Three allies working in harmony, like instruments in an orchestra, creating a powerful symphony of vitality. This is the revelation. Your body does not thrive on isolated effort. It thrives on balance, on harmony, on the coming together of different forces that lift you higher than you could climb alone. And when you choose to bring these 3 foods into your daily rhythm, you are not just eating, you are actively feeding your masculinity, your energy, and your joy. I want you to imagine this clearly. Imagine starting your morning with a smoothie that blends spinach with a splash of pomegranate juice. Imagine finishing your dinner with a small piece of dark chocolate, not as a guilty indulgence, but as a conscious act of nourishment. Picture the way your blood vessels respond, the way your hormones awaken, the way your energy begins to hum again. Picture the look in your partner's eyes when you rediscover the confidence to reach for their hand, the smile that says you are still alive, still strong, still the man they know and love. And let me remind you, this is not about chasing youth. You are not in your 20s, and you do not need to be. This is about embracing your 60s and beyond with dignity, strength, and vitality. It is about refusing to believe the lie that life after 60 is a slow fade into silence. No. It can be a crescendo, a rising of energy, a time of rediscovery. And you hold the keys to make that happen. But the choice is yours. You can continue as you are, doing nothing, waiting for time to dictate the terms of your life. Or you can decide, today, to fight for yourself, for your health, for your relationships. Because let me tell you, aging is not a disease, but neglect is. If you neglect your body, it will answer with fatigue, with decline, with silence. But if you nourish it, respect it, and feed it with purpose, it will answer with energy, with strength, with desire. I have walked this journey with many men before you. I have seen the despair in their eyes when they first came to me, and I have seen the light return when they discovered what was possible. And I want that light for you. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and see not just the lines of age, but the fire of a man who still has so much to give, so much to feel, so much to live. So here is my invitation to you. Try it. Bring these 3 superfoods into your life. Give your body the chance to show you what it is still capable of. Do not expect overnight miracles. Expect steady, powerful change. Expect your mornings to feel lighter, your evenings to feel warmer, your confidence to grow day by day. And as you feel those changes, remember this moment. Remember that you chose to act, that you chose to refuse decline, that you chose to rise. And before we close, I want to speak directly to your heart. You are not alone in this. Every man who has walked this path has felt the same doubts, the same fears. But those who dared to believe, those who dared to act, discovered a truth too powerful to ignore, that life after 60 can be passionate, strong, and deeply fulfilling. So if you found value here today, let me ask you to do something simple. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your age, your city, and whether you are ready to reclaim your vitality. Because this community is built on men like you, men who refuse to fade away, men who believe there is still more to live, more to love, more to feel. And don't stop here. This is only the beginning. In the next video, I will reveal more natural allies, foods and habits that can extend your life, strengthen your body, and make every day after 60 a celebration of strength and passion. So stay with me, because your journey is only starting. Remember, vitality is not lost. It is waiting to be awakened, and now you hold the keys.